Here at the Wallace Collection, artists have been painting musician Rick Wakeman, hairy biker Dave Myers, and singer Katie Kassoon for 2 hours. But at this point, do the judges have any favourites? So we're at the halfway stage. Let's consider the people who are painting Rick. What about Ross's painting? I think he's probably the least close to the likeness of Rick.
I'm wondering whether it's going to sort of emerge more. The nose, you're just about to say the nose isn't quite right.
No, it's not right, but there's something about the I don't know, something about the nose that is very Rick, but it doesn't look like him.
But it might be because this is the kind of face that comes together right at the last minute.
Well, this is the nature of the halfway chat. Some painters, they don't give you the magic until the last throw of the dice.
Keep us waiting.
So, in Katie's section...
Claire's quietly working her magic. I'm only sorry that the really lovely drawing that she had early on has now disappeared.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with Stevens. It's the kind of thing that we are really going to be left for the last half an hour to work out if he knows what he's doing, because what you're really seeing is preparatory work.
Let's consider the people who are painting Dave Myers. You know, we talk a lot about getting the spirit. I think Liam got what I feel he is.
He doesn't have one of those faces that when it's resting kind of goes down. It stays up, and he's picked up on that.
Leah's looks interesting. Very delicate bit of drawing, and now it's very sort of atmospheric. I don't know where it's going.
When she started today, she didn't know if she was going to do a miniature or a large, or what kind of style she was going to use. She really is an artist that wants to tell a story, and I feel like there's a few people like that today. So we're starting to get sort of sets, bit of narrative, bit of storytelling. I think we could conjure up some quite weird and wonderful things.
One of the things I'm not going to do is to have a little sneaky look. I hate people coming to the studio when I'm working, when we're doing music, especially if it's an orchestral session, because you're bound to get somebody go, well, I can't hear the French horns. You know, we haven't done the French horns yet. And you think, well, why don't you just listen to it when it's finished? I think one of the great joys of any art is seeing something for the first time. So I'm deliberately not having a sneaky look.
I've got Dave this side, and he's very serious and everything, you know, and then there's Claire, who we've talked about all different things. And then we've got Steve, who's using a different technique altogether, you know, with the print and everything. And I'm curious, I want to see how that turns out.
Do you know what was amazing when I came in here? The first thing that struck me was the smell. The smell of the oils, the turpentine, the liquid, the various elements of painting are what was so familiar to me. But I kind of lost my passion for painting. And I think once that passion's gone, then the paintings that I were doing were just wallpaper. They didn't have what I am hoping as artists here have, which is something a little bit special.
But to achieve something special, things sometimes have to get messy.
My vision of it is to work with something that's really dynamic and colorful and free. Of course, Dave is the inspiration. He's my color palette. I'm not inventing anything. I'm just emphasizing some bits.
Hi, Ross. You are actually tackling the background. How important was it to you to have that there?
Well, I was sort of going forwards with it, not having it there, and it was just a sort of background brown for ages. But it was looking kind of bare. Like his head was there, and I was happy with his head, but I think it needed some life and some energy to it.
I agree with you. I think it's shifted the likeness as well in a way. I think
it
it's
has.
Sort of given that depth.
I think that was the right choice. I was wrestling with that.
All today's artists have seen their portrait evolve with every brush mark, but Stephen will only know if his etching shows any resemblance to Katie once it's been printed. Without a proper press, Stephen has to ink up the plate and transfer the ink to the paper by compressing weights with a clamp along the length of the portrait. So down there is Katie Kassoon waiting to come out?
Yes.
Oh, please don't drop it. Okay.
I'm a little bit anxious now.
Okay. Ah.
There we go.
It's good. You happy?
Yeah.
There's a quality to it which it's hard to describe, but I can imagine leafing through an old book in a second-hand bookshop and coming across this looking exactly like that. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's all right, actually.
There is just half an hour to go before the judges will decide which artist will take a place in the semi-final.
I'm going to try and get the outfit in, but again, I think it'll be quite blocky.
It's just about coming together. Looking forward to just getting finished. I'm flagging a bit now, if I'm honest.
Time flew. I don't know, it's the last flourish. I need to think about a way to finishing like a punchline. I need a punchline.
Here at the Wallace Collection, artists are in the final throes of their challenge to paint singer Katie Kassoon, musician Rick Wakeman, and hairy biker Dave Myers. And they must decide whether to risk more meddling or leave well alone.
I suppose you could continue painting, working on a piece until you die, till the end of time. There has to be a point where you're kind of just content with what you've got and it's resolved.
Artists, there are 5 minutes remaining.
You're going to get every second out of this, I can see.
5 minutes. And I choose to paint earrings. What's that about?
It's just about coming together. I'm just adding a few final flourishes.
Artists, your time is up.
Please put down your materials and stand away from your easels.
After observing the artists hard at work over the last 4 hours, our sitters can at last see the fruits of their labour and choose their favourite portrait to keep.
Artists, would you please turn your easels?
Oh, wow. They're all me, aren't they? Every one of them.
It would have been really weird if one of them had been Sir Bruce Forsyth.
It's quite flattering, really. Thank you very much. But it's got the look. Sometimes I'm thinking about what to cook, where to go next. It's a wonderful painting. See, now that looks like me. You know, when the cameras have stopped.
Yes.
And I can be myself, and I'm going, you should go to the pub, Kingy. It's very honest. Wow. I love that explosion of colour and vitality. You know, I have been known on occasion to have a bit of humph. And I love it.
So, Dave, I'm going to have to ask you to choose the painting that you spend the rest of your life with.
I think I'd like to take Liam's.
Wow. Gosh, they are different too, aren't they?
They're all different, but they're
brilliant.
all true.
They are. They're all an ageing rock and roll pensioner. That is brilliant. The detail on that is, I must iron my shirt. This is absolutely fantastic. See, you've captured that's a different me. That's really good. That is really clever. I love what you've done with the background there. That's really good. I felt, this is so almost impossible. I mean, and tomorrow I'm going to go with you, Ross.
Ah, terrific.
Right. Okay. They're all so different.
So different, aren't they?
Wow. I kept trying not to smile.
No, but I think it's good because it's one of those Mona Lisa smiles that just whispers across your face. I like that it set you up in a tropical eye.
In a tropical eye. That's the conversation that we had.
Oh, OK. I can smell the papaya.
And this is the etching.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it's quite a moment there when it's pressed and then the...
Yes, I mean, that's a lot of work too, isn't it?
So we now reach that moment where you must choose the one which you take home.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with Dave's.
With such a rich variety of styles to choose from, the judges narrow down their selection before they decide on their final choice.
This is a little gem. I don't think it's Katie, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think the eyes work, it's the lips that didn't work for me. But I mean, it's a fascinating process.
I didn't quite get the likeness, and obviously I'm going to be a perfectionist about things, but I think anyone would be the same, really.
I think she talked to Katie a lot about her childhood and where she grew up, and I think she felt she wanted to incorporate it into the picture, and it has that sort of illustrative feeling to it.
She loves her work clearly to be full of symbolism, and I imagine that what happened today was it was such a controlled environment that she couldn't find that freedom that she likes within herself.
I was watching Ross paint this, and I was thinking, this is very rough, and I thought, is he going to refine it at any point? And the moment Rick left, I suddenly realised he'd caught him in his essence.
But it was difficult to watch because it was so in his head, and there was a process he had to go through. You know, it was an ugly painting all day, and then he just kept adding just the right amount of information.
We had an amazing couple of artists, so I'm very thrilled that Rick chose mine.
It feels like we've got the whole package here, nearly. You know, he's caught the mischievousness. It's a great likeness. The quirky moments, the glasses are treated beautifully, the sparkly eyes.
I mean, I really like this painting, and I think a lot of people will like this because it does have that lovely, warm energy of Dave.
But what really irritates me is the beard. Why everything has got to be painted with the same brush mark. And it's one of those aberrations I know for myself as a painter. Otherwise, it's a really good painting, so I'm kind of torn. Having picked Leah from her submission and the tiny stuff, this definitely wasn't what I was expecting. She really has just responded to the moment and who was sitting.
I love its colourfulness and its playfulness. She's really tried to get the character to come out as much as anything else.
I would never have pictured what I've done, but I wanted to do something different, something fresh for Dave, and yeah, I think it worked out really, really, really well.
But there's only room for 3 on the shortlist.
That's a good spread, isn't it?
It's great. I think they're brilliant, actually.
That's looking better now.
Much. But for me, I'm torn between which of those 2 we take into the last 3.
Yeah.
I'm headed this way with Kathleen to these 3.
Okay. Final 3?
Final 3, yeah.
OK, great.
But which 3 have they chosen? The first artist is Liam Dickinson.
The second artist is Leah Nagado.
And the third artist is Ross Macaulay.
congratulations to those who didn't quite make it, but you all did superb work as well, and we've enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely. Well done. I feel all right about that. I kind of guessed as much, but I'm pleased I came today. It's a good experience. Story to tell the boys. I'm happy.
6 portraits, 5 men, 1 woman, and she's only 2 inches high.
She holds her own there, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
So I really fell for this, and I thought maybe you hadn't.
Interestingly, we've found that we have a feeling about a painting, we're not certain about it, and we pull them out and put them next to other paintings. It seems to clarify their strengths or their weaknesses, and this certainly happened with this one, where suddenly Dave, as a kind of psychedelic wizard, has actually worked very well.
She's the kind of artist you think, what is she going to do? I mean, she's clearly very talented and she's so creative. I think our problem here is that it's a competition. We're going to go to the semi-final and then to the final. It's a big prize at stake. I don't know, it's a bit alarming not having any sense.
I think there is a question that she's going to have to ask herself as to whether she's falling into the illustrations or whether she's going to stick more with the painterly side of things.
I wanted to be risky, but maybe not that risky. I don't know, I think I got a little bit carried away. I was too much in the moment, maybe.
So what about Liam?
I still think that is one of the strongest submissions we've had. I think it's just, I can't stop looking at it. So it takes me on this journey. I found today he's done very well. I have question marks about certain brush marks. You know, the beard is sort of falling apart in a kind of mosaic, digitalised pattern. And in his self-portrait, he's got those marks, but there's a better rhythm to it.
I think it's also difficult with artists that work in this photorealist style because it sort of feels slightly as if it's almost sort of slavish copying, and you wonder where the creativity of the artist's coming, even though they're obviously very creative if they can create something that's such an obvious likeness.
It doesn't just look like Dave, I think it feels like Dave. It has Dave's sort of kindness about
it does.
But it looks like the beard later refused to take part in the programme, so it had to be pixelated.
But my goal at the beginning of the day was, oh, let's hope the sitter takes my portrait home. And he did. And then now I'm in the top 3, so yeah, dizzy heights, but we'll see.
Right, what about Ross?
I loved Ross's submission. It immediately tells you a story. And I thought it was excellent that he was able to take his time today. It looked really sketchy earlier on. It looked a bit ugly, but it was a process he had to go through. And he just started to refine it in the afternoon and pull the whole thing together.
Rick's monumentality comes across, and it became really apparent once Rick had left the stage. I felt it had the scent of Rick in it.
What I like very much too is the relationship to the background.
I think it actually helps the reality of Rick's face, because there was a problem slightly with the profile, and the minute the background went in, it helped push him forward, so you did get that depth.
I think it's a marvellous crop of pictures.
Yeah, it's been a good
Terrific.
day.
The other pictures are really good. They're really good pictures. It could be anybody's game. I'm just happy to be at this point.
Liam, Ross, you've all done incredibly well, but only one can go through to the semi-finals, and the judges have made the decision.
The artist that they have chosen captured absolutely the energy and essence of their sitter. And that artist is... Ross Macaulay.
Oh, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. There are so many incredible artists and so many amazing pictures that it could have been anybody. So I feel thrilled.
I think the judges made a good choice. Ross was a worthy winner. I didn't really even expect to get into the top 3, so yeah, all in all, it's been a pretty successful day, even if I'm not going any further.
I think Ross' painting was brilliant, and I really like how fresh it was, and it looks, amazing.
Portraits have a very special place in my heart, so I'm glad I nailed it down this time. Now I have to do it again, don't I?